Good evening. Welcome to yet another episode of Doctors Off Duty. And today we have with us Dr. Deepti Vepakomma, ma'am, Professor and Head Department of Pediatric Surgery and Dean Research. Welcome, ma'am. Thank you for having us today.
It's all my pleasure.
It's a very beautiful home.
Thank you.
Well, let's start with your childhood, ma'am. Tell us about yourself, how it was, where did you grow up, how it was, and about your family.
Okay, I am very much city born and bred. I was born in Bangalore, grew up there, studied in one of the very good convents of those days, probably the best school, and very grateful to Sophia High School because I think what I am today, the foundation was laid in school. And a very good, comfortable childhood, nothing extravagant, come from a simple middle class family, but grounded and yet comfortable. I can sum it up like that. And best memories because it's a joint family. So I've grown up with a lot of cousins, aunts, uncles, all of them like parents to me. So I finished my schooling in Bangalore and then went to Kasturba Medical College for my medical training and back to Bangalore where I worked till I came to AIIMS Mangalagiri.
So, ma'am, how were you as a kid? Were you always this outgoing kid or happy kid, or how were you as a kid?
Very, very introverted, silent, and to myself. I think the transformation was going to hostel. When I went to KMC, had to stay on my own and make friends. So for the first time, I actually started making an effort to talk to people. And here I am.
How were your undergrad days, ma'am?
Lots of fun, lots of hard work, but at the same time, I think most of my memories are not about the academics. It was about the extracurricular activities. And we had inter-class competitions, inter-college competitions. They were a big deal those days. And we would stay up until 4 or 5 getting the stage ready, practicing whenever we had our cultural week, which happened every year. So I think I was never a front of the stage person, always backstage, organizing, helping. But those memories are the best. And I think I keep telling all the students the same thing. We study, but that's par for course. All of us do it. What memories you retain and the friends you make depends on beyond the classroom, what you did. And in KMC also, Ganesh Utsav was the biggest and the best. We would have the biggest idol and the biggest celebration, and there would be a procession going all the way to the beach. And all of us participated, had so much fun. So those memories are what I have of my college days, and library, which was open to us till 1 in the night. So we would all have dinner and go to the library. It was more for gupshup, but fun days.
So do you still catch up with your old friends and everything?
Yes, we missed out on our 30th year reunion because it happened just after COVID. So this December we all plan to meet in Goa and catch up again, have a college reunion of my batch. Some of my really close friends, yes, I'm in touch with them. Though none of them are in India, I think I'm the only one who stayed back. So that's also partly because I've always been a bit patriotic, and I always was very, very clear in my mind that I would stay here and do what I can. Part of why I joined government service in Bangalore also, I was in the government service before I came here, was because I thought you had to be in the system to change the system. My sister, on the other hand, always wanted to go abroad. She's well settled in the US. Very happy not to come here.
So after undergrad, ma'am, how did you decide that you wanted to take general surgery? What inspired you towards that direction?
I wanted to do something different. I didn't know what, but I didn't want to do what everybody was doing, especially because I was a girl. Maybe I was stubborn, maybe you can say a bit egoistic. I can't reason it out now, but I just knew that I wanted to do something that others were not doing much those days. So, and I enjoyed surgery, and I liked the change that surgery has. Medicine seemed more routine, and I had only two choices: either to general medicine or surgery. So I gravitated towards surgery.
And how about pediatric surgery in particular? What drove you towards that?
Aptitude, my size. Okay, so surgery was tough because I was so small when it was adult patients and everything was too big, and I wanted to do something that was more delicate. Plastic surgery never caught my interest, though we do rotation for all specialities. Neurosurgery again I felt monotonous. That was just my perception. I mean, it's very challenging, and all of those fields are actually more popular, and probably reputation-wise also. People look up to you. If you say neurosurgeon, they're very happy or excited to meet and say, oh, this is some big surgeon. Pediatric surgery, nobody even knows the branch. It's very, I can say, quiet branch. But I love being with kids, and it's delicate work, so I was sure this is what I would want to do.
You spoke about how taking up surgeries looked like a different stream back then. Would you like to comment on how the times have changed, or do you think that the times have changed about women in surgery from back then to now, or is...
Most definitely, because we have more girls taking surgery now than it was at that time. When I did MS, I was the only girl for all the 3 years, and for many, I think more than a decade before me or even longer, there was nobody who had done surgery. So, and many years after maybe also. So from that to now, there's a lot of change, and it's good, because I always felt that women also have surgical problems. Where do they go if you have only, like gynecology was always looked at as a women's branch because women will relate to women better, but they also have surgical issues. So having women surgeons is a big step towards, I won't call it gender equality, but to giving patients an option on whom they want to consult.
Growing up, who were your biggest role models or people you looked up to in your life?
At home, my parents, most obviously. I think my father, for his patience, enormous patience and attitude, which I think today I know as a surgeon, what we need is that calm, quiet mentality to face the challenges we do. And then of course, my mother, very, very hardworking. I think I get that trait from her because I was not the most intelligent person, but I always was a topper because of my hard work. So I attribute that to her. And then to becoming a doctor was my maternal uncle, who's still one of the most famous physicians of Bangalore. He's a Padma Shri. He does a lot of social work, and he was awarded the Padma Shri because of his work, not in his clinic, but to have a village clinic, go out and do medicine in the society. So I think I was inspired by that.
Any specific event in particular which was like the event that made you decide, yes, I'm gonna be a doctor one day?
No, many issues, I think. As I said, just growing up in watching him, my uncle, there are pleasant memories, because those days when he would take an ECG, it was not big modern clinics as of today. So you can say his secretary was his wife, who would sit in the counter when patients come and note down, and he would do the ECG, which technicians probably do nowadays, and he would cut those strips saying AVL, AVL, whatever those, lead 1, lead 2, lead 3, and give us a book, that small foldable booklet into which we would actually stick. So I started off doing things like that at a very young age, just copy where it was written lead 1, I would stick the lead 1 ECG part. So I think it was a gradual interest, just watching him.
Ma'am, could you tell us more about your hobbies and what you love? What do you do when you're free?
I read, not much of physical activities, of course, though I enjoy probably doing yoga or just walking. And when I say walking, I don't stroll, I do a brisk walk. So that's something that also is a stress reliever for me. And my only pastime, you can say, is reading. If I had space, I would do gardening, but unfortunately I never had a home, even in Bangalore where we had enough space for a garden. But I still dig the pots, do that repotting, planting, and so those are my hobbies. Reading, gardening.
As a surgeon, how do you keep yourself calm in the ebbs and the flows of what comes, the challenges that come with the process?
I am not calm. I also get flustered. So, yeah, it's easy to say stay calm, but I think we all get rattled at points, and that is not, it's something that I think happens very gradually. As you progress from being a junior surgeon to somebody who's got experience, who's seen certain complications, you know how to anticipate them. So you just become more careful. You become more careful in your decision making. You know when to say no. You don't think that surgery is the solution for everything. So that probably brings that calmness ultimately. But during surgery, yes, as you become senior, I think it just naturally comes. You reach a point where you know that your juniors or students you are teaching can make mistakes, and you're confident enough that you can stop them before it is irreversible, or you can let them do with confidence that you can control the situation.
Usually, we say that we need to learn from someone who is more knowledgeable than us. But how have patients taught you, especially the small babies and children? How have they taught you? What have they taught you over
Attitude. You never see a child cry unless they're in severe pain. So you do a herniatomy today morning. When you go for rounds in the evening, they're ready to go on their tricycle. In the ward, we usually used to keep toys and bicycle, tricycle, all that. They're up and about. So you can see and tell that he doesn't know he's had some surgery. The mother is anxious, but the child is not, right? So I think that attitude of generally being happy, carefree, that is something we need to, I think, imbibe and incorporate in our life. So it's a happy feeling going to the ward. Even though you've done something big, children don't make you feel like you're in a hospital.
And there might have been dark moments. What do you do during them, or what are the events which have etched in memory in your mind?
No one particular event, but as I was talking generally to you all, whenever there is a complication or whenever we lose a patient, whatever may be adult during my MS days or it's a child now, it does affect you. You never become immune to death or to grief, and maybe trying to maintain that what I call compassion or empathy at that point is what differentiates a good doctor from a bad one, because you don't want to get involved, you don't want to break down, but at the same time there should be enough feeling in you to be able to empathize with their grief and sorrow, and that's when they trust you. So most of these events leave a mark, and many times we learn from them how to deal with that situation better the next time.
Ma'am, you called yourself once a monk who drives a
Yes.
Mercedes. So, would you like to comment on this for the people who are listening and who don't know a lot about you?
Book Monk who sold the Ferrari or sold his Ferrari was at one time a favorite book of mine, and I after that read a lot of books of Robin Sharma's. But when I bought my Mercedes, I think everybody thought, oh my God, what is this girl doing, spending so much money? And you don't see women buying luxury cars. So it looked weird. I had a lot of people come up to me and ask, is it really yours? How could you buy? So that's why I said yes, it was a rarity, but with all the opulence of having a Mercedes, I'm very simple hearted, and I don't splurge, I don't spend much on anything, I live very simple. So you give me a 1-bedroom small hut, I'll still be very content and happy. So that's why I said it looks like I'm spending and leading a luxurious life, but inside I'm a simple person. That's why a monk
Who drives a Mercedes?
And the Mercedes came for a very specific reason because so I think about a decade ago, or maybe a little more than that, I realized that when I want to travel and go to places, I don't have many people who want to come. They don't have the same interest. And once your friends grow up, married, settle down, and you want to do your own thing, you don't have many people who want to accompany you. And I always felt safe that if I drove myself, I don't have to rely on cabs or bus or some other and go to some place and rely on public transport, especially smaller towns. So I started driving, initially to places which are 3-4 hours away from Bangalore, and then longer. Since I go alone, I thought I should have a car which is safe and secure. It will probably make my parents feel, okay, she's going alone, but she's safe. So that was how I moved to buying better and better vehicles, and then finally Mercedes.
So what was the longest trip you took, a solo trip?
Bangalore to Karwar. So that I think took me about 11 hours, and it's a long drive. But it was a beautiful drive, and as you reach towards Karwar, you have to go through the forest. I forget the name of that. It's like a forest and a river. They're all very small roads, not inhabited much. They're like ghat roads. I've driven to Mangalore several times also through the ghat roads. So those are challenging, especially if you're alone. But I enjoy every moment. I play my music and I'm happy.
So coming to music, which are your favorite artists? What is the kind of music Dr. Deepti listens to?
I don't listen to music, but classical, maybe just bhajans and soulful music, Indian, not much Western. English songs are those which I grew up, very old kind of songs. So not much a movie song kind of person. I learned classical music as a child, but I have a terrible voice, so I don't sing.
Oh, we would have loved to
That's what I
hear
said.
you
So
sing.
because I can't sing, I always wanted to learn instruments. I tried learning the sitar, but that was when I was doing my MS. And to string any string instrument causes a lot of trauma to your fingers. It kind of hardens. You get a lot of callosities. So after a while, I realized I can't do surgery, and if you have cuts on your fingers and you're going to OT the next day, so it didn't suit with my work. So I stopped, and now I'm learning dance finally.
So what is your go-to step as of now from all the time you have learned?
I'll show it to you on Doctor's Day next.
We will be waiting for that. So what else do you think, like, how would you describe your life in a nutshell, if you had to give a title to your own autobiography, apart from the monk who drives some Mercedes? What else would be a suitable title to that?
A happy life with a few dips, and finally I think here I am, content and in a way at the summit. I think I am happy with how it shaped up.
So we have some more questions, and they might not be stringed together.
Sure.
So
Go for it.
if you could create a new medical holiday, what would it be and how would people celebrate it?
I think we have a lot of holidays already, so I don't want medical holidays. Doctors shouldn't be having holidays.
If you could go back in time and witness any major medical discovery, what would it be and why?
A medical discovery? Way back in time, maybe, I don't know, I would go back to when Lord Shiva put Ganesha, elephant head on Ganesha, head transplant.
What's the most creative way you have ever stayed awake during a long study or working session?
I took my table and chair to the corridor in my hostel. We had a beautiful corridor, and I tried studying there, and everybody who walked in and out of their room would be like, "Hi Deepti, how are you?" So that kept me awake all night during exams, and people knew that that table and chair belonged to me. So it was a permanent fixture eventually.
If you could have a dinner with any historical figure or meet in person any historical figure, who would it be and why?
Ramana Maharshi, as I said, not to have a dinner, but maybe if I really had a chance to meet somebody, it would be him. I think many who know about him would know that he's somebody who's God realized. So I just want to meet him.
If you could go back in time and give advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Read the Bhagavad Gita or get somebody to explain the Bhagavad Gita, because I did it too late in life. And had I done it as a school-going child, I think I would have shaped up into a much better human being. Not outwardly to face issues, but as a person to face my own challenges. I would have probably not broken down or not stressed out so much. So it's a manual for a very, I won't say happy living, but perfect living.
So we had a very spiritual direction of the interview till now. Maybe we can jump to some of the fun stuff.
Sure.
So what were some funny core memories with your friends or senior juniors from back in college, or even the post-grad days till now?
No, I don't know. There are many memories. They're all pleasant. I can think of one school trip when we were finishing 10th. We all had a class trip together. We had gone to Jodhpur, Jaipur and Rajasthan basically. So they decided to have a fancy dress competition, and if I look at some of those pictures, I don't know what got into us, because we decided to put 10 colored ribbons on our hair, and I always had short hair, but then I put, I don't know, rubber bands of all colors, and then we wore a pair of jeans with some salwar and some bani, dupatta, everything mishmash, and we looked weird, but at that time we were so happy doing it, so I don't know how we could do such silly things and still be so content and happy about it. So those were some ridiculous memories, events. MBBS days, yeah, staying up, having egg put on our head for every birthday. They would invariably come and dump some egg on you at 12 midnight in the hostel. So, and then smear some cake on your face. So they were fun memories, which I remember, because nobody ever celebrated birthday with so much gusto afterwards as we did during our hostel days.
And how about the hectic surgery residency?
That was no sleep, no food, and most of the time work. But having said that, it's probably the best 3 years of my life. As I said, I was the queen bee. There was nobody else. I was the only girl, and they were all, colleagues were all boys. My seniors, juniors also, all together. We were 21, if you put the 3 years together. So there was me and 20 boys. But they treated me with so much love and affection. To date, they're my best friends, and people whose wives and children know about me, and they always make it a point to check on me and say, how are you doing, very frequently. So every Saturday, they would go out for dinner, all the boys get drunk and say, Deepti has a car, she will drop us home, don't worry. So talk about chivalry, it was the opposite. They would have fun, and then I have to go there, drop them in their hostels, and then go back last.
So if you were not a doctor, no, we'll start with if you were not a pediatric surgeon, what else? If you were not a surgeon, what else? And if you are not a doctor, what would you have chosen?
If I was not a pediatric surgeon, what would I be? Maybe I would be an anesthetist, I don't know. I think that's a very challenging field, so it interests me. Though they are behind the scenes persons. Oh, if you're saying if I was not a pediatric surgeon, I don't think I want to do any other surgical branch. Nothing interests me much. So I would choose to go away from surgery itself. If not a doctor at all, I would be a gardener. Nothing. I would be a happy homemaker, or given a choice, I would probably want to become some priest or pujari. Because I like scriptures, I want to know about our traditions and customs, so I would probably have jumped right into it.
So, do you think that the curriculum or the attitude of the students from your time to our time, has it changed, or something, are there elements which have still been preserved?
A lot has changed, obviously, because it's been a long time. But what I still feel that is better during our days was, I think we were generally a lot more hardworking, or there was more passion. And you'd never see an intern or a PG student ever complain about doing too much duty. Even on days as a surgery resident, I know it was, even if it's not my duty, if there's an interesting case in the OT that is happening, emergency cases come, and something interesting is happening, we would all go, regardless of it being your call day, how busy your day was. So every day would be late, but we never complained. So I think that intensity of or that passion, I don't see in today's children. That was one. Otherwise, yeah, I think you all are more tech savvy. You all are able to find resources and learn better. And I think we were pretty dumb when it comes to beyond your books in those days. So I see that kind of a spark in students now who wants to do STS project, you want to know about research, you want to know about newer things that are happening in the medical field. That is something that we lacked.
So, ending note, ma'am, what is something you want to tell to the whole AIIMS Mangalagiri family and the students in particular who will be watching this, listening this, or reading this?
Okay, before I wind up, I will tell you this story which I thought I should share, and I suddenly remembered as the first day of my PG, and I was first year resident or whatever you call, and my senior, there was a call, so I went to the emergency and they said, please see and tell us what it is. So there was a stab injury. So I went, looked at the patient, you have to strip, and I examined head to toe as expected, abdomen. There was just a stab wound. Went through and through, so I said it looks like a small cut. So maybe I can suture it in OPD and then we can see. And then I asked them shift him from the trolley to the table so that I can suture. They tried to turn him, and then I realized his entire bowel is outside. So the stab injury was through and through in such a bad manner that his bowel has actually extruded from behind, paraspinal area. Then I got a shock, and I think that was a huge learning experience about how not to underestimate these things, and probably a bit frightening because it was the first day of my illness. But yeah, I still remember that scary moment.
I forgot one question. So, there are times when students keep doubting themselves that will I make it as a good doctor? And today you are very in a esteemed position, if I must say. So, did you have that thought, and how did you deal with that? And what message do you have to the people having that thought today?
All of us go through it. Even now I go through it. I don't know whether before I go for a surgery, am I competent enough to do this well? That doubt will remain, I think, for every doctor. Nobody can say, I know I'm the best. I mean, few maybe they can, but then there's always that little bit of a doubt in everyone. But we all make it. And I think one of the defining things for me as a doctor would be having compassion which is genuine. You don't really pretend and to smile at a patient. If you feel for them from within, I think you automatically will want to do the best, right? So you'll go back, if you don't know about something, you'll go back, read up about it. Or if it's a rare case, you will try to make an effort to see how better you can investigate or come to a diagnosis. So it comes, I think the bottom line is having compassion. So everybody will make it, anybody who's watching, especially the students, I think they shouldn't have any kind of fear.
So, ending notes, ma'am?
Ending notes, I'll say have fun, do study hard, of course, but look beyond your MBBS curriculum. Use these few years that you have to build friendships for a lifetime because you're living in a hostel. Enjoy those moments and do things other than studies also, like taking part in the sports, cultural activities, because having an all-round personality is what brings you success in the end. Many may reach positions of eminence, and they will, which is, I'm sure, going to come. And how you communicate, even with your patients, the first thing they notice is how you are dressed and how you communicate. And if you are not able to give them the sense of confidence by the way you speak and interact, you are going to lose out on a lot of patients. So for all that, all-round personality development, you need to do more than just read your books.
So we'll go to some fun segments.
I thought the interview was over. Okay.
That was the core interview, and now the fun segment.
Sure.
Rapid fire. So it's gonna be a superpower you would want to have.
A power that I should have? Read people's mind.
Okay. Last book you read.
Om Swami's book. I can't remember the name.
Your
because
favorite.
There are many.
Your favorite food.
Salad.
Your favorite actor.
Don't watch movies.
What's your dream vacation spot?
I like to go to ancient temples and explore them.
Favorite go to dance move.
When I learn completely, I'm learning Kuchipudi, so I will show you the dance moves when I learn them.
One word to describe your personality.
Happy?
Yes. And so we have Gen Z lingo as we
Will I
said.
understand that lingo?
So we are gonna ask you some, and you are gonna try to tell us what do you think it actually means.
Okay.
Okay. Sway.
That means you killed it. It's something very great.
Yeah, like you,
true.
you swayed it. Yeah, like so. Ghosting.
Ghosting.
Yeah.
Ghost.
Okay, so
Scary.
No, it's actually like someone ghosting you. Basically, all of a sudden the person goes away of the conversation.
Okay.
Lit.
Literary.
It's actually lit means on fire. So
Oh, okay. So you're actually exact word lit. Okay.
okay. Let him cook.
Then that means let him suffer.
Kind of like.
I mean, he deserves it. So somebody you want them to
Let him wait what he wants to do.
Like let
leave
them do
him alone.
whatever.
Leave him alone.
It's kind of like,
Like-
wait for him to do
Yeah.
the cool thing he's about to do.
Whatever
Oh, okay.
they're gonna do, let them do it. We'll see the outcomes.
Outcome.
Yeah. Goat. GOAT.
Goat. No idea at all. Never heard. Other than the bleating goat, I don't know any other goat.
So goat is like I would.
know goatee was a heard, but I don't know what goat
It
is.
stands for
It's
greatest
of all time, greatest of all time. So,
Okay.
I in our Gen Z rango, you are a goat.
Oh wow! Thank you.
T
T as in TEA or T?
TEA T.
TEA. T is T. Now is that a short form also like?
It's not actually a short form. It's like
Let's T. T of. That's TEET.
it's like gossip. So let's have some tea. So
Okay. So you want gossip over a tea?
yeah.
I'm a coffee drinker. I love coffee. I don't drink tea.
So if I tell you I have some tea on this person, basically I have some.
Okay. You want to sit and have a chat. So
Yeah.
are we having tea?
No, if I have a gossip on someone, I would say I have a tea on this particular
Oh,
person.
okay. I get it. You want to talk about that person.
Yeah. Salty.
Not good.
Yeah, kind of. Salty behavior. Stop the cab, or like the antonyms.
CAB.
Cap. CAP cap.
Cap.
Yeah.
Stop the cap. So shut up.
Yeah. If in our language,
Stop lying. Oh, okay.
all caps.
All lies.
No, it's actually I want to stress on the fact whatever I'm saying as of now.
Okay, all caps. So you're saying it with expression.
Yeah. So that's it.
So it proves that I have nothing to do with Gen Z. But I don't consider myself old. Age is just a number.
It's okay, we can always teach you with the Gen Z language.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you to our viewers.
Thank you.